Hello and welcome back to Mount & Blade Warband, and we're actually going to be attacking one of the Nightmare Sieges, or at the very least I seem to recall that someone mentioned that this is indeed the Nightmare Siege in the whole game. Now, thankfully, the only reason why I'm starting with this is because, well, there's actually not that many units in here, so I'm really pleased about that. So let's head on in here and see exactly. Yep, you were correct. I am not looking forward to this at all, but there are only 127 enemies in here. So, theoretically, we should be absolutely fine. We shouldn't have any issues whatsoever, as we do have a very strong army. As you've seen, we can sweep across things relatively, well, that depends, okay? That depends. We can kind of sweep across things with relative ease, but there are a number of caveats obviously associated with that. You know, it depends on how many high-tier units the enemy has, depends on how many vassals they have in the garrison itself, because if they have a lot of vassals, for some reason, I don't know why this happens, but I'm gonna assume that it's just because they magic units out of thin air and they just appear in the garrison before you launch your assault. So I assume that's the reason. But whenever there are vassals present and you see them in the garrison and you say to yourself, oh, look at that, there's only 100 units, there's only 150 or whatever, and there's 5 or 6 vassals in there and they've all got 10 units or something, for some reason, whenever you then head in and actually charge in, you're then faced with not 150, you're faced with 250 or 350 in some cases, and that to me is just wow. Okay, you know what's going on with that, you know what I mean? So I'm very much hoping that we're not going to have that kind of issue here, and we will literally just be able to take this without too many difficulties. As you can see, I've actually just clicked on the battle map here, try and get up into the battlements, try to murder every single person I come across here. There we go, nice. These fellows are thankfully just horsemen, so they shouldn't be too bad for us to deal with. As you can see, look at this. Oh yeah, nice and easy, nice and easy. They even have some Vagiers here for some reason. Must be a defector. As I said before, there are a large number of defectors that are going to be attempting to murder us. How dare you? Nord Warrior was actually dealing some massive damage right there. Pretty impressive considering Nord Warriors are, I mean, they are one step away from being a Huskarl, but still, you know, they're only tier 4 or what is it? I actually don't know. Is tier 6 the highest in this game, or is it tier 5? Because I always get mixed up. But I think it... How does it go again? Nord Recruit, right? Nord Recruit, Nord Footman, Nord Trained Footman, then Nord Veteran, then Nord Warrior, and then Nord Huskarl. So... I don't know, I lost count. Okay, yeah. Never mind. I'm just going to say that, yeah, they're high tier. I'm just going to say that instead. That's a little bit easier, isn't it? Then I don't have to remember anything, and that's easier for both you and me, because then you don't have to be frustrated with my wonderful memory. Yes. Never mind. Oh, wait a minute. Don't get killed now, Barney. You do not want to get killed now, sir. All right, let me just get a nice little... Oh, I was going to say nice little headshot. Yeah, there we are. That's nice. And obviously, if you missed the previous episode, I'm not sure whether you know, but we now have the ability to get our engineering to 10. Oh, yes. Because obviously last time, if you missed the previous episode, last time you saw our engineering, it was at 8. And now we can get it to 10. And I've only leveled once in that time. So we've got some very cool things about to happen once we are able to restore ourselves and rest up for a little bit of time. Got to be careful here once again. Really don't want to get killed now. If I get killed now, this is pretty bad. Although, to be fair, I could probably just head in with an auto-resolve and, well, lose half of my army, because that's how auto-resolve is in Warband, but I'm over it. I'm exaggerating it a little bit, you know. But, yeah, the auto-resolve is a little punishing, quite punishing, very punishing. All of the above, yes. that's pretty much how it goes sometimes. But thankfully, this fellow's just kind of moonwalking into the barrier there. Don't exactly know what he was doing, but there we have it. A wonderful victory for us. Not that costly. Pretty happy with it. And we do have a number of units to take. I'm actually not going to be taking any Khergit Lancers. I do not see the point in that one bit. Even though Khergit Lancers are pretty okay, you know, they're fine. You know, if there's nothing else and you need some high tier cavalry, you can go for those. But obviously they cap out at, I believe, tier 4. I think they cap out at tier 4, right? I think so, or tier 5, I don't know. But they cap out lower tier than the other heavy cavalry options. So I'm just going to be leaving everyone there. I don't even know why am I even bothering to take loot? I don't know. We're already making a pretty significant amount of cash. So yeah, anyway, let's just take this. Let's level up these fellows. Bear in mind, we do have a vassal over here, but we have now started our assault against the Sarranids. I'm actually thinking that what we'll do is I'm gonna go down to Jamiche Castle. We're gonna think about taking that just as a this is kind of like a bit of a distraction more than anything. I don't really care about you know, holding it or anything like that. I don't really care about that at all. What I do care about though is kind of having a couple of distractions in place so that the enemy can concentrate their forces on capturing Almera Castle and Jamiche Castle instead of attempting to take Halmar and NARRA. Because what I want to do is I want to take Halmar, then go to Uhhun Castle, take that, then go to NARRA and take that. That is what I'm hoping that we can do, because then I solidify the border between what was previously known as Khergit Khanate territory and Sarranid territory. And that makes everything much easier for us because, as you can see, there are 3 individual bottlenecks. Can you see them? Yeah, there's a bottleneck here at Sharwa Castle, there's a bottleneck here at Jamiche Castle, and there's a bottleneck here around Wea Castle and Jamiche Castle. So those are the bottlenecks that we kind of want to deal with and make sure that the Sarranids don't have any home bases outside of those, because then they are self-contained within that, and I can only hope that in the time that it takes them to kind of move around and everything, that they're not going to then have the ability to do anything with us, and they can basically just, you know, get stuck, pretty much. Get stuck doing the things that we want them to do, which is just managing their random villages and castles and towns inside their own territory. We obviously do not want them to do anything significant. So, yeah. Anyway, the Rodoks are obviously still, you know, doing their own thing. They're still, you know, getting things finished with their wonderful faction that we eliminated in the previous episode as well. Bear in mind that it is not officially eliminated, so of course we still have to deal with the varieties of different raids and pillaging that is currently going on, which is very annoying, but yeah, can't do much about that right now. And I think what I'm actually going to do is I will just hide in the siege tower here. Don't think there's really much point in me shooting people with my crossbow right now. Someone actually mentioned that maybe it would be a cool idea for me to place units on top of the siege tower, place ranged units on top of the siege tower, because that might be more effective when it comes to retaliating against the enemy on the battlements. And yes, absolutely, that would be a pretty cool thing to do. But as far as I am aware, I don't know whether you can really fit that many people up here. As you can see, if I stand here and if I put the flag in this particular position, how many people can you fit here? Probably 2, 3, maybe. I mean, maybe you can get more than that, but then they're just going to start moving into each other and kind of melding, and they're going to block each other's shots and things like that, and that's going to be a little bit messy. But it is a cool idea. Don't get me wrong. It is a cool idea. I just don't know whether that's going to be very viable, even though I would want it to be. I think it would be fantastic if we could have those kinds of things. Maybe sometime, you know, maybe in Bannerlord, maybe someone's going to come up with some new siege engines or something like that. I wouldn't be surprised, because the first time I played Brittenwalder all those years ago, I was absolutely blown away by the fact that they allow you to have battering rams. Yeah, they allow you to have battering rams in that mod. And this was, again, all the way back in 2013, 2014, you know, long time ago, many years ago. And at that point, of course, I had been playing, you know, native Warband. I'd been playing Prophecy of Pendor, you know, and to a certain extent, I think I had also been playing Gecko Kujo, but earlier versions of Gecko Kujo and everything. But again, that was also a bit of a different way of besieging in that mod. But what I'm trying to say is, when battering rams were implemented in Britanwalder, I just thought to myself, wow, this is actually incredibly cool. And they also introduced destructible environments and things like that. Well, not destructible environments as such, but you could take down the gates, you could take down various fences and doors and things like that, and you could actually, you know, infiltrate the enemy's defenses just very simply, but just by knocking down a door, you know, knocking down a door, or obviously using the battering ram. And I would love it if maybe in Bannerlord there could be a mod or something, because obviously I don't think the developers of Bannerlord are going to be implementing anything extra apart from what they've already done. So it's going to be up to the modding community to do something with that. And I was actually going to suggest maybe a moving archery platform. Wouldn't that be really cool? Yeah, so like a moving archery platform that doesn't really go anywhere, but just kind of moves back and forth in a sort of horizontal direction, perpendicular to the battlements. I think that could be kind of cool. Or not perpendicular, but parallel. Parallel to the battlements, because then they could just move back and forth right there. And they could just have, you know, you could just put some units on there. So, for example, let's say that you're playing as the Britanians, and then you just basically put Britannian Fian champions up there on the moving archery platform. And then they just murder everything on the battlements, or they try to murder everything on the battlements. And obviously you don't have to use this piece of siege equipment if you don't want to, you know, let's face it. If you have an infantry-based army or a cavalry-focused army or something like that, then of course it's not really going to be that effective for you. But I think that that could be a fun little addition, shall we say. I'd like to do a nice little crowd surf here. I don't think I'm going to get the opportunity to do so because I don't have enough speed. Ah, that is sad. That is very sad. Oh well, never mind. It seems like I'm just going to get stuck here, unfortunately. Okay, I'm just going to put my... can I put my banner down there, please? Oh, no, look at that. They're actually blocking me. Okay, I guess I'll just put it there. Oh, no, never mind. Now everyone has been killed. Oh well, yeah. It's one of those times, isn't it? It's literally thinking to myself, oh yes, I will place my banner there, and we will make sure that we can get down into the courtyard, and then... well... then bad things happen, and, well, they already murder everyone, and that's absolutely fine. I mean, I say bad things happen, but it's more like very good things have happened, but I just couldn't react in time. Or I was being blocked, let's more accurately say it, I guess. But yeah, that, you know, the whole battering ram thing was introduced by a mod, you know, so originally, so that's actually super cool in my opinion, and I'd love to see some more of that. And who knows what people are going to come out with, you know, because that's one of the things that I'm really, really excited for, because now that the game, I'm talking about Bannerlord here, of course, now that the game is a lot more stable, because obviously Tale Worlds, they've said now, as far as I'm aware, they have said that mods are going to be a lot more stable because they're not going to break things as much. It's going to be a lot more compatible with things, and then the modding community can actually start working in earnest to make larger projects that are not going to need such significant updates every single time there's a version update of Bannerlord itself. And that's going to be fantastic, because that means that they can literally double down on every single feature that they are working on, and it's just going to be so much fun to see what they can come up with. It really is. The modding community is really, really quite fantastic. Alright, so yeah, I'm just going to be leaving all this stuff. Don't really need it. Going to be deferring appointment, as we don't need that either. And as I said, I think giving people things, probably not the best idea for now, so we're just going to leave it as it is. I'm actually going to start leveling Jeremus's trainer. I don't think it's really necessary for me to do anything else. As you rightfully said, apparently surgery doesn't really work, as I as I incorrectly stated in a previous episode, but thankfully on that episode there is a very lengthy comment from someone, and they very wonderfully and kindly outlined absolutely everything you could know or want to know about that particular formula. So it's probably a good idea that I just smack some points into trainer right there. And otherwise, we can now move on. There we go. All right, perfect. So we've taken Jamiche. So now, here's the thing. Best thing for me to do now is head on over to Halmar. And I'm hopeful that I'm still going to be reading the book. I really want to read the book faster, but it's kind of one of those things where I don't really want to wait. You know, I'm kind of impatient in that regard, you know, because I'm thinking to myself, oh yeah, I really want to... I mean, look at this. It's at 39%. It's terrible. What's my reading speed? Ugh, it's awful. Anyway, I'd like to maybe get something a little... I mean, I'd like to get it done faster so that I can actually build these things instantly. That would be amazing. Instead of it taking an hour, or for some reason that seemed to take a little bit longer than an hour. I have no idea how many people are even in here. Oh my. Okay, that's actually not very good. Alright, that is actually not very good at all. They're actually sallying out. Okay, now that's interesting. I wasn't expecting that. Let's hope that their thrown weapons are not going to absolutely murder me. This guy is coming for me. Whoa, he really wanted a piece of me, didn't he? Okay, yeah. Thankfully, he is now dead, so we don't really need to worry about him anymore. And hopefully, I will be able to survive long enough to do some damage. Of course, now that we've actually gotten our engineering goal, I no longer need experience. And before I was obviously just basically wanting to level up once more, and that made a huge difference to everything. Obviously we had our book stolen, I got the book back from some random chance. And yeah, so everything is looking up at the moment. You know, we're not doing too badly in that regard, but now I don't really need experience. So me killing things, it's just a means to an end now. Yes, it is just to eliminate enemies wherever I see them and make sure that they don't do too much damage to my own forces. I guess that's the only thing that we can really take away from it. Anyway, I will be leading my soldiers in an assault now. I'm at 100% HP, or 98%. I think there's a small sliver missing, but apart from that, we should be fine. Let's hope that we're going to actually achieve victory here. I'm going to try and place my forces just past the ladder. I'm going to see if I can actually get in here myself. I could... You know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I don't want to chance me dying, because what's going to happen is if I die here and I have to run away to restore myself, I can wholeheartedly assume a lot of the vassals inside the garrison are going to think to themselves, oh, look at that guy. He's weak. Let's chase after him and kill him. And that is possibly what could happen. So I'm very much wanting to avoid that kind of scenario if at all possible. Let me see if I can kill that guy. There we go. Yeah, my crossbow... Okay, now, I'm going to say something here. Now, this might be... Alright, it's not going to be controversial at all. It's not going to be controversial, because let's face it, you know, me talking about whether I should have used a crossbow or not, that's not particularly controversial, right? But anyway, I'm going to say it. I really do not like the crossbow in Warband. I think it's okay, and I don't think it's terrible, because it doesn't require you to level up your power draw skill or anything like that. So if you desperately need a ranged weapon of some kind, and you just want to focus on two-handed or one-handed or any melee kind of attacking abilities, then that's great. And you can obviously do that, and then you don't have to really suffer any kind of detriment to your own skills. So you could basically just be like, oh yeah, I'm just going to put all my points in power strike, going to put all my points in strength, and I don't have to worry about leveling up power draw or leveling up power throw or anything like that. So that's the only case where I would say that crossbows are looking pretty decent. But as it stands for me, the enjoyment factor I get from using crossbows is pretty low, which is kind of unfortunate, because I actually really like them. I like the... I gotta say, I like them better in Bannerlord, I think. I like them better in Bannerlord, whereas I like the archery, the actual archery, you know, with regular bows in Warband more than the crossbows in Warband. I think archery in general, in Bannerlord as well, is also very good. It's very satisfying to hit enemies with those kinds of ranged attacks. And I've had multiple times where I've been playing Pendor, for example, because obviously Pendor, big classic right there, you know, big classic, super, super polished, really fun experience. And when you get later in the game, and I'm talking about, you can level up really pretty high in that mod. So when you're level 40 plus, you can do so much damage with a rune weapon, because obviously it does have fantasy elements to it. And you have the, I mean, if you don't know anything about Pendor, then, well, I'm not going to go into the whole thing, but basically you can create magical weapons, and these magical weapons have certain capabilities. You can create, you know, magical swords, magical axes, bows, you know, all kinds of things like that. And I would always create a rune bow. I would always create a rune bow, and the rune bow itself is amazing. It's so incredibly fun to use. Give yourself a massive amount of arrows. Let's say that you're, I don't know, you've got 60-something arrows or something like that. That's really, you know, a pretty significant amount. Maybe even more. Maybe you're gonna, you know, have 3 quivers and 1 two-handed weapon or something like that. That might be pretty cool. You know, something along those lines. That might be fun. But yeah, anyway, the point is, you have something like that, and you're literally just firing into the opponent, and you're getting kill after kill after kill. One-shot kills. And this is in Pendor, bear in mind. Pendor, where most enemies are going to have significant armor and good amounts of HP, because they all have, you know, very high amounts of iron flesh and everything like that. So they're going to have, you know, 70... maybe even 80 HP, because bear in mind, you start off with 45 as a base. So them having, you know, 70, 80 HP, that is speaking volumes for how, you know, how tough they are to kill. But you can do upwards of 100 damage with certain bows. And that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. You really want the satisfaction of firing a weapon like the rune bow, or the noble bow. I'm talking about the noble bow in Bannerlord here, because obviously the noble bow in Bannerlord has the same kind of feeling that the rune weapons had in Pendor for me. And most specifically, if you want a recent example of me using a noble bow, I recommend looking at the Land of Seeker series in Bannerlord, because I made 60-something episodes on that, or 50 or something. I don't know. There's a playlist on the channel if you're interested, but whatever the case, that had me using a noble bow, and it was just so incredibly fun to use. Good amounts of accuracy, yeah, easily able to get headshots. It was fast, or fast enough for me to be able to shoot it, and I felt very, I don't know, it had a lot of enjoyment factor associated with it in comparison to, for example, the crossbow here, which is admittedly doing the job. All right, it does the job, you know. It is doing what it is supposed to do, which is to provide me with a ranged solution when I am unable to use anything else. So that's pretty much it. That's the only thing it really does. But it's not satisfying to use, you know. It's not satisfying to use, and that kind of makes me a bit sad, because I think to myself, oh yeah, it would be really nice if we were like, you know, if we were using like a proper bow here or something, and we were actually able to, you know, get kill after kill after kill. But no, I do 23 damage to a Sarranid archer, for example, and that's a headshot. And yeah, okay, I could probably get a better crossbow. That's probably the reason why I'm not doing that much damage. So I'm thinking, yeah, we'll probably do something about that. Maybe I'll try to get a better one. But I think I can I use this one on horseback actually? That's something I need to check. I think that's something I do need to check. Anyway, let me actually see. Whoa, 5 Swadian knights. Hello there, and 1 Nord Huskar. That was pretty much perfect, actually. Yeah, that was pretty much perfect. It now maxed out my army again. All right. Perfect. Okay, so yeah, we're not going to be giving Halmar to anyone, as you know. I don't really do that nowadays. And we're just going to be buying all the bread. A lot of bread. Let me see if I can actually find the person. Do you think I can actually... Oh my... Are you serious right now? This is the companion I've been looking for. This is the companion I've been looking for this entire time. Ah, okay. Yeah, well, obviously I'm going to put some people in the garrison here. I'm just going to put like one person in the garrison, and then we're just going to go in and get him. But I'm going to need to equip him with some armor. I do have a lot of money, of course, so I should be absolutely fine. There we go. He joins us for free as well, which is actually hilarious. And this is the fellow I've been looking for this entire time. I have wanted to get him. I don't even have Borcha still, by the way. Have you noticed? I don't even have Borcha, so that's pretty awful, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to give him a two-handed. Just going to make him a huge two-handed beast of some kind. Unfortunately, I don't have any armor for him, so let's go and buy some. Wish I could sort by value here, but I guess they are already sorted by value. Yeah, I think they are. Okay, so I'm basically just going to buy some really good stuff for him. Let's buy this. Let's buy this. Helmet. I guess we'll buy one of those. And I think that's basically all he needs, right? This helmet is not that good. This helmet is better. There we go. Does he need boots? No, he's got boots. Actually, these boots are better than what I'm wearing, so I'm going to steal his boots, or his new boots, and I'm going to wear his instead. And otherwise, we're looking pretty good. Yeah, okay, that's absolutely fine. I'm going to probably keep him off his mount. I don't actually know what kind of riding skill he has. He has 2 in riding skill. Oh, okay, never mind. Okay, maybe I do want to give him a mount then. So let's just give him all of this. Perfect. Look at him. Wow. He is looking pretty good already. That is super nice. And let me go in here. There's the horses. Okay, we need 2 in riding skill. So I'm just going to buy a step horse for him. I don't need to get him any equipment. Do I need to give him any equipment? I don't think so, right? I mean, he's already got like a two-handed sword of some kind, right? So I don't really need to give him anything else. I mean, if I wanted to give him a ranged weapon or something, or maybe a shield for his back or something like that, that would probably be a pretty decent idea. Bear in mind, this guy is literally level 1 or something. Yeah, level 6. So he's going to be pretty awful at pretty much anything, but we're going to very quickly level him up, or at least I hope so. He's going to be using the chipped war cleaver, and he's going to use this, and there we have it. Okay. Absolutely perfect. Wonderful. And we got him kitted out for about 20,000, which is not that bad, I guess. Where is Borcha, though? That's the question that I have right now. Let me see if I can actually find him. Whereabouts unknown. Okay, well, that's great. That's not very helpful, is it? Thank you very much. Yeah, a great encyclopedia entry right there. Alright, well, whatever the case, let's head on to Uhhun Castle. I don't really want to take Uhhun Castle, to be honest, because it is a siege tower, but there's vassals in there? Really? There are vassals in here? Are you serious? Come on now. These vassals should really just go away already and let me do my job. Oh, yes. Let me do my job of conquering the entirety of Calradia, please. Okay, let me actually just wait here for some time a little bit, just to make sure that Jeremus and so on get back on their feet. And let me just have a look-see. Wow, he is still taking an age to restore himself for some reason. It's because his wound treatment is not actually working, by the way. So that's the reason why he's taking so long to restore himself, because he has been eliminated. He was eliminated in that previous siege, which is kind of weird, in my opinion. I'm not sure. Why is he still injured, actually? Weird. Okay. Usually... there we go. Okay, now he's going to start absolutely blisteringly fast healing. And hopefully he'll be back up to scratch relatively soon. Okay, so let's just start building this. And yeah, so I'm now 50% of my way through the engineering book. And hopefully that will be done soon. Ooh, wait a minute. What's actually going on here? Oh, someone raided my village. Oh, okay. I'm not making that much money anymore. No. I mean, I am... yeah, the wages for my party are immense at the moment. So, yeah, I'm a little bit worried about that, actually. So, maybe I do need to give myself a major town for a little bit of time or something like that. I know someone actually mentioned that a while ago. And I said, well, we have enough money at the moment. And, well, yeah, we did at that time. But now things are looking a little bit different. Anyway, Uhhun Castle. Oh, no. You know what? I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that one. I'm not going in there. I am not going in there. No way. That is not happening right now. That is going to be absolute torture. I'm going to do that off screen because that one is that one that I was telling you about in a previous episode. I don't know whether you remember that, but that was basically where I was, I had to wait for the siege tower to get all the way to the battlements, and then the battlements themselves were basically one person wide. And as soon as I got onto the battlements, it was basically just a huge traffic jam of troops, and they would be fighting each other one by one every single time. And it took me about 20 to 25 minutes just to get into the wider portion of the castle. It was just way... It's just a nightmare. It's not the nightmare siege because it is doable and not that painful, but it takes you so long. It's one of those. Unfortunately, I am actually taking way too much damage right now, so I'm a little bit worried about this. Not a big fan of that, gotta say. Maybe Mr. Ferrentis can actually get some kills here. That would be nice, wouldn't it? I'm being shot from behind. Yeah, I'm being shot from behind. That's not particularly good. Marnid's actually getting a bunch of kills, which is pretty nice. Look at that. He's going on a complete killing spree. Ferrentis actually killed something. That's his second kill. And I'm actually thinking I might jump off the edge here, but I can't because I'm going to die. He got 3 kills so far. 4 kills. 5 kills. Whoa, he is going on an absolute killing spree. 6 kills. Okay, 7 kills. He's still going. I cannot believe that he is still going. Marnid is competing with him by the looks of things. That's actually very cool. Marnid's now dead, which is to be expected, of course. And I'm probably going to die very, very soon after him. So I'm just going to do my lovely little overhead slashes here. Try to maximize the amount of damage I can do. I don't think I'm actually going to even be able to take this, but the best thing we can do is just try to inflict some damage. That's it. Just try to inflict some damage to the garrison. Try to eliminate a bunch. And then hopefully I'll be able to... Oh, I'm actually inside? Really? Whoa, okay, this is very, very rare. Okay, I'm not going to run this way. I'm going to go over here and try and eliminate the various crossbowmen and archers and so on, because we really do not want to get shot by these in the back. Okay, destroy that guy's shield and take these guys down really fast. Get them out of here. Thank you very much. And then we should be fine. Okay, I've got to be careful here as well. There we are. Yes. Yes. Okay. Okay, perfect. Absolutely perfect. Oh, wait a minute. There's still someone here. I was told by my units, still being a little bit aware of a threat in this direction. There we are. Okay. Whew. Alright, now we are fine. Now we don't have to worry about... Really? Don't do that to me again now, Warband AI. Come on now. Don't do that to me again. You remember that one? Yeah. Those guys literally just walking into each other perpetually until the end of time. That would be, that would not be too good. That would not be too good, so thank you. Anyway, we seem to be pretty good here. And we're just going to be walking into a bunch of crossbowmen, so I have to be a bit careful. I really wished that we wouldn't be facing so many Rodocks at the moment. And that kind of makes me think, hey, you know what? Maybe it would have been a good idea to just leave them for last, because now we're having to still fight crossbowmen. And they are pretty damaging, so not a big fan of that. But yeah, as I said before, maybe I just need to upgrade my crossbow. Maybe that's the reason why we're not doing that much damage with it. Maybe that would be a good idea. I don't know. But whatever the case, I think now all that I need to do is stay alive. All I need to do is stay alive, and then we should be absolutely fine. And then I should be okay to do what needs to be done, which is obviously to take this town. And if this town falls, this is pretty much the biggest population of the Sarranids in this area. So if I can take them down, then we're going to have a much easier time of spreading into their territory and taking their castles on the border as well. Because obviously, once we have taken this, then it's just a Hun castle. Obviously, I'm not going to take that on screen. That's just huge time sink. Certainly not something that I want to do right now, especially, you know, that's just, it's just terrible. It really is. It's just, in my opinion, probably maybe the worst design of a siege in the entire game. Now, you're okay, fine. That might be a pretty big statement, but it feels to me like that is indeed the case. It feels relatively true that that is the case, because it just absorbs so much of the player's time. And that's the thing, it's not challenging, it's just a huge time waste, which is kind of sad. And I feel like they shouldn't be like that, to be honest. I feel like, as I say, you know, you should be able to get into the battlements, but then the difficulty should spike up, and then you should be, you know, having to fight through the streets, or, you know, something like that, you know, because Gekkokujo actually did it really nicely, where you would fight through the streets of a town or a castle or something, and there would be a pretty good difficulty curve in that, because obviously you'd be fighting through the streets and you'd have to be careful of your reinforcements, because your reinforcements would of course come all the way from the very start. So you'd have to be very careful, and you have to keep a watch on that, because if you start seeing all of your reinforcements, or shall we say all of your current units, being eliminated at the front lines, and your reinforcements are all the way back at the very beginning, it's going to take a long time for you to get people to help you. So you've got to be on the ball about getting yourself out of there, because if you don't get out of there, you're going to die, because everyone, you know, all the enemy is going to try and eliminate you as fast as they possibly can, of course. So that's a really big deal, and that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. You know, that definitely adds an element of challenge there in comparison to just, you know, wasting your time, kind of. Anyway, let me see if I can... Wait a minute. We should be fine. There's only one left. There he is. Get him. Get him, fellows. Murder. Murder. Yes, there we are. Thank you. Alright, so now we have to go into the keep. I'm a bit worried about the keep. I mean, maybe I shouldn't be so worried this time around, because whenever I have gone into the keep previously, I have always had the lowest tier units be... you know, be accompanying me, and that was just terrible. I've had some in this series where I went in and I had a Nord footman. Yeah, I had a Nord footman, and I had a low-level Borcher. A low-level Borcher at the time. And the footman died almost instantly from a headshot from someone. And then I was left with me and Borcher, and then Borcher was getting ganged up on at the entranceway, because I was obviously trying to eliminate the enemy's archers, because they seemed to be the biggest threat. And then Borcher got himself killed, and then I was up against 2 infantry, and it was just a huge mess. So yeah, it's nice that we actually don't have that kind of problem any further. Anyway, we're just going to move on. NARRA is indeed taken. I'm not gonna take it, even though we do need the money, or the money flow. I think we should be okay, at least for a little bit of time. Jeremus has been eliminated once again, so we're going to have to wait here for some time. But this is what the map is looking like. We've taken Almera Castle, jamiche Castle, Halmar, and NARRA, and it seems to me like there's not that much of the Sarranid strength remaining, but we haven't come across one of their largest armies yet, and I haven't seen Sultan Hakim. I think he was actually in Halmar, but I think he escaped. So I'm not sure where he is now, but I suppose we will find out in due time. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.